The day starts about 4:45, so my mornings don't get a lot of time outside. But the first thing I like to do when I get home is just unwind in the yard. I'll walk to the greenhouse, I'll check on seed. I kind of started off with the cactus, and it seems as my kind of evolution with plants, I've kind of jumped from one family to another, and I'll focus on that family, and the next thing you know, we've got all these cycads when I started with a couple, because I kind of just wanted to focus my attention on that one group. So then the cycads move out, and I need more shade-tolerant stuff. So then I find some shade-tolerant stuff, and I'll get into those and growing them up and expanding the collection. And if there's something I can grow from seed, I'm always growing it from seed. I like the diversity you get out of seed. So you'll find that some places I'll have 10 or 15 things growing of the same species. We had a lot of woods behind our house. Most of our time was probably spent near water. My dad, Bill, my stepdad, Bill, we'd go camping fairly often. So we spent a lot of time in the Hillsborough River State Park. It seemed like the river and the alligators and all that was the bigger draw at the time. One of the courses I took in college was a Florida biota course, and it was all about plant counting and finding ranges and then looking within that range and seeing the diversity of plants. And I really hadn't grown anything until I had just moved into a house, and my friend gave me my first Chrysulaceae, a little elephant bush, and it kind of spiraled out of control from there. We would go to plant shows, and it seemed like cactus was my big draw. That kind of got me into plants. After the house I had my first plant, I was working at a pet store, and our biggest draw were pond plants, and that kind of expanded my horizon as far as what I could keep and accessibility, it seemed. I didn't even realize that those were available to me. I ended up moving to this place called the Blueberry Patch, which they call it an artist retreat. It's more of a music venue where some artists live and kind of take care of the property. And at that point, I was given an opportunity to kind of play with a welder. My friend Julia's brother Jack had let me borrow a welder, and I think the first thing I did was some just little simple spoon flowers. And then I was like, well, you know what? I could do better than this. So I started doing some Phalaenopsis, and I think I did some little cymbidium orchids out of just scrap steel, electrical knockouts, and spoons and knives and forks. And then when we bought this place, I was like, I need to get another welder. And that's kind of when I really focused in on what else I could do with that medium. All I wanted to do was create artwork. Didn't seem like anybody thought that could be a profession. That's a pipe dream. So plants were kind of my outlet to kind of feel normal, I guess. And then kind of duplicating what I saw in my artwork was just like therapy to me. If I had a project I wanted to work on and I didn't have the time to do it, I would almost get edgy and it would be irritable until I could just get out that creativity. The orchids are probably my biggest draw. I think they're fascinating. And then the diversity, there's no two alike as far as the genuses go. The shapes, the colors, the smells, they can grow almost anywhere, it seems like. They're up in a tree, they're on the ground, they're growing at the edge of a bank. I fell in love with that. Finding shapes that could become something more natural, I kind of became fascinated with. I do find, the shape of a spoon is very similar to a flower petal. The tines of a fork could be the pollen anthers. There's so many similarities that if you just look at it with the right eye, you could see how plants work well with my medium. And a little shaping and cutting, and you can come up with something completely different. But a lot of it starts with just playing with some spoons and then kind of putting some spoons together and being, oh, well, this is looking closer to what I was hoping for, and then I'll try and narrow it down to more on the species level. I think the biggest thing I've learned from working with plants is they've taught me patience. They've shown me that you can change and become more beautiful with time if you're given the care or self-care, and that's a transformation that I think I can see in some people if they're given the time and the care.